Hello, we're the August 1823 Stitchers. That's Angie.
And that's Sally. And Jack's down here somewhere chewing on his treat.
No, I think he finished his treat because it looked like he wanted another one.
Mm.
Today is February 5th, 2025. Yes, we made it through January. Some people are saying that's the longest month. I'm like, man, January flew by for me. And this is Flosstube episode number 29. We'd like to thank our returning viewers and our subscribers. And if you're new to our channel, we hope you like what you see and then are thinking about subscribing. So hit the like button, make a comment. If there's something we discussed that you can't figure out, just send us an email. And also in the description box, I include a link to the Google Docs, Angie's Google Doc that has all of her whips in progress, and my Google Doc that has all of our whips in progress. Today, we're gonna, because I left a few things at home and I'm not going back home to get them, we're gonna do a book review. I've read a book and Angie's read a couple of books. And then we'll talk about new starts, whips, and after we finish our whips, Angie's got a tool to share. We've got some needles up to discuss, some stash investment, and stitchy kindness, and then our plans for the rest of the month. Well, until we come back to see you again. We're hoping in a couple of weeks, and then we'll say goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
So, how many books you got?
2.
Okay, well, why don't you do one? I'll do mine, and then you can do yours.
I'll just start with continuation. Last time I talked about David Rosenfeld as an author, and I can't remember which one I was on, but the next one was One Dog Night, which I found was even better than the last one. So last night, I didn't stop reading until 6 a.m. when the book was done. So, and then Jack got me up at 8 o'clock because he had to go to the bathroom, and I've been up ever since. So, if I don't make any sense, I'm sorry.
I don't need to apologize.
Anyway,
it is what it is.
David Rosenfeld writes legal thrillers, and so he's a lawyer, and he's a rich lawyer because I don't know why, I can't remember why. It's in the earlier books, but he runs Second Chance for dogs. And that's what he spends most of his time doing. And if there's a case that has a dog in it, sometimes he gets pulled into doing a case whether he wants to or not. That's a case in this book. And so it was a good book. You need to read it. It's called One Dog Night. Very good. It's funny. It's a mystery. It's got romance for some of you. It hints at sex, which I like. It only hints at. And no curse words. Pretty good.
All right. Well, a couple weeks ago, I was at the Florence Library teaching a friend how to knit. And as we were leaving, they had a display of books. And they had a book called Beach Read. And so I checked to see if it was an audio book through the Libby app. And it was. I had to wait about a week. But this is the cover. And it's about a couple of authors. She writes happy ever after novels, like romances, and he writes books where everybody dies. And they both have writer's block, and she happens to be in the house next door to his because she found out that her father had an affair and bought this house, and when he died, she inherited it. And so they challenge each other for the summer to switch genres. So she's writing where everybody dies, and he's writing a romance novel. And on Fridays, they go and do research for his type of research for her novel. And then on Saturdays, they do all the romantic stuff for his. And it's really cute. I liked it. It was easy. Well, I listened to it. It was an easy thing to listen to.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Is there another? Are you planning to read more books?
Oh, I don't know if she has any more. It just happened to catch my eye, and I read the back, and it looked good. And if I can get it on audio, then I like it because I can stitch. And I don't stay up till 6 in the morning reading. I would be working a puzzle on my iPad.
Sally lives 45 minutes away in the next
30,
county.
30.
Okay.
For you, it's 30.
Yeah.
If we were going to Candy's, it'd be 45.
Okay. And that means she has a better library than we do, library system.
Well,
and so they have access to more audio books. And our library has ebooks and audio books, but they're like Stephen King's from way back in the day, and not the type of books I read. So anyway, I have to read real books. And as you know, I'm visually challenged, so I have to be careful with the print. And this book had big print and black print, because Onyx Flame has small print and gray print. I'm getting ready to start it, but it's going to take me a long time to read it.
Is that one of the fourth wing?
Yeah, it's
ones?
the third one in the fourth wing series, and a lot of people have been talking about it. A lot of people are already on their second read of it. A lot of people have mixed feelings about it, and they're not saying what's going on, but I have a feeling it's a bad ending. Anyway,
Come on, Jack.
Laura from Stitching by the Shore said she was rereading one of her favorite series, and it's called The Kindred's Curse Saga. And it's by someone named Penn Cole. So I checked with my library, and I had to wait a couple weeks to get it, but they sent it to me, and I was so excited when I saw his big print, and I was able to get through it relatively quickly. Not as quickly as David Rosenfeld, but pretty quickly for me anymore. And it's an excellent book. So I've already checked out the second book in the series, which is like that thick. And I'm also wanting to read Onyx Flame, but the second book of this series that's that thick is big print again. So, you know, I might read that one first. Even though I really can't wait to read Onyx Flame.
Onyx Storm.
Onyx Storm. I always want to say Flame. I don't know why. Anyway, I would highly recommend this. This is light reading for a fantasy. There's really no sex. There's no curse words. I mean, it's clean, and yet a fantasy. It's hard to find fantasies that, you know, are not so spicy. So I would highly recommend Spark of the Everflame. I don't know about the whole series. Laura's recommended the whole series, but I know the first book's good. So that's all I've read. Used to read like 100 books a year of that size. Not anymore, not with my eyes.
Well, I mean, you do what you can do.
Yep.
All right. So, new starts. Do you have a new start? Yes,
No.
yes,
Oh,
you
yes,
do.
I do.
We started something on January 20th.
Yes, I do. I keep forgetting about it because I really need to frog it.
Well,
Again.
if you want me to, I'll frog it for you later.
Again, I've done so much frogging lately. It's not
I had to
funny.
do some frogging last night.
So, on Inauguration Day, which was the day we filmed,
The 20th of January.
Yes. We decided to do a patriotic start, and I thought it would be simple to do this one, and I was excited about the shape of it. But guess what? Nothing simple. Not for me.
You want me to hold that up for
I'm
you?
trying to figure it out, yes.
Okay. Whoops.
Oops. Okay.
All right.
So this is in the book called Proud to Be an American by Little Stitch Girl. And
Here's the one she's doing.
it's just white 14 count. And I didn't really get to work on it very much because I wanted to get silver to replace the white, because white on white just wasn't going to work for me.
Well, and I frogged something out for you on that day, too.
Yes, because apparently I can't count to 7. I keep doing 6, and then I count everything off of that once I do that row of 6, and I messed up. And I'm, what did I do with it?
It's right there in front of you.
I haven't even put it on floss drops yet because I'm just, anyway, this is the second time I've gotten this far. But again, this whole bottom spoke and everything coming off of it has to be frogged because I can't count to 7. I can only count to 6. I was very unhappy.
Yeah.
That's what I have done for the last 2 weeks is frog.
Well, I just did it yesterday.
It got to be pretty depressing on all of these. The only thing I didn't frog on was the walrus, which I'll show you in a minute. But I was getting so upset with myself that I couldn't stitch. So I came up with this little song to sing while I was frogging to make me giggle. And this is because of Nancy, the disorderly stitcher, who suddenly started singing in her Flosstube.
That's true.
And 40-some years ago when I was in college, can you believe 40-some years
I know.
ago?
I was thinking about that myself. I was thinking,
I
in
helped
2 years
with
it'll
a
be-
production of our college theater group called Music Man. And my favorite song was not the common ones that everybody knows, like 76 trombones. Mine was pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheap, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more. And it was all about the gossipers, you know, gossiping about the librarian and her new romance and stuff. And it's one of my favorite scenes, and I love that song. It's fast and all. Anyway, so I was picking these threads out, and I changed it to stitch a little, frog a little, stitch a little, frog a little, stitch, 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 frog a lot, stitch a little more. And then when I got to my January project, I threw in fudge every once in a while, because in January I was so sick of frogging that I fudged one place and said, I can't do it anymore. So for those of you who don't know the tune, it goes like this. Stitch a little, frog a little, stitch a little, frog a little, stitch, 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 talk a lot, stitch a little more, and frog a lot, stitch a little more. Anyway, it made me laugh and smile while I was doing it, so I could manage it and not be so overwhelmed by all the frogging I was having to do. I have been sick for ever. I told Sally today I feel like crap-a-doodle, and I know that's why I'm making so many mistakes, but I also can't, I feel like it's my therapy, so I have to do it, and then I have to undo it. It's very frustrating. So,
Well,
we have a patriotic holiday this month, President's Day.
true.
So I will probably work on getting that, at least that blue thing done on President's Day.
Oh, well, I finished my patriotic stitch. I just left it at the house.
She doesn't have to frog.
No, I didn't frog on that one. And it took me 3 days to stitch it. It was more stitching than I had anticipated.
Yep.
But if you want to see what it was, check our last video.
Oh, dear.
So on Sundays, Angie started Sabbath Sunday, and then I decided to change it to Seasonal Sunday because I can put in my ornaments during that time, or I can do some other stuff. So I started the 2024 Prairie Schooler Santa. I like the black work trees, and that will fit a category on my bingo board for EGA because it's black work.
Okay.
All right, well, I'm going to make it fit. And if Marguerite says something, I do better. I'm going to make it fit. It's black work. See, the trees in the background. Anyway, so I started working on it on Sunday. And then this past Sunday, I'd worked on it Sunday before too. And then this past Sunday, and then on Monday, I said, well, let's make it Berry Monday. And so I continued to stitch a little bit on it. But, you know, I use the DMC that's called for by preschooler because I don't mess with the preschool colors. I've watched several videos and they're like, well, I just had to brighten them up. I had to change them. I was like, okay, you do you, but I'm not changing the colors. And this is a piece of, it's a piece of vintage 14 count 8-eye. It's wired, but I'm doing it on the solid section, not the printed. I got it at Hobby Lobby.
Your nails match the color of that paper.
Oh,
It's
yes,
blending
well,
in with it.
super cute. That's the color, Dave. Super cute. It's in honor of the 50th anniversary of Hello Kitty being produced. It's according to the lady that does my nails. So that's my only new start. Okay, now we go on into whips, and I have several.
The only new start she brought with her today. She had a patriotic start too, but
I had a finish, patriotic finish.
Well,
okay,
it was a start and a finish.
What's your new start? Because you
mine
did your
was
new
the
start.
star.
That's right. I am so okay. So now we go on to whips. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I have 5.
I think I have 3.
Okay, so I'll do one and you can do one.
I think.
Let's rotate. Well, last month, January, all right, remember this year I'm wheel set for whips I'm going to work on in 2025. And so I spin it at the beginning of the month or at the end of the previous month, whatever I just decide. And I'm tempted to just go ahead and spin it on out and make a note of it. Anyway, one of them was the Peacemaker Angel by Teresa Kogut. And it's a beautiful, beautiful angel. And I'm basically working it up page by page. And there's 4 pages. Well, 2 full pages and then 2 little partial pages. And so I finished half of the face and I worked on the hair.
Did you say it was 16 count?
It is 18 count, and I like to do 2 over 1. I know it's a little tight for some people, but
I like it that way.
You get saturation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I wanted to be
Coverage.
I've got to look. There's a lot of confetti in the hair. There was a lot of confetti in the face. But as you can see, I finished the eye, the nose, mouth. There was one place there were 4 stitches, and each one was a different color. But that's the progress on Peacemaker Angel. And I wanted to finish up the hair before I put her away, so I may pull her out this month too. I mean, once that gets called, I'm almost finished with one of my other whips that was called for this year, and so I can just substitute in or stitch what I want. Okay, you do one.
All right.
Oh, I didn't put my
The only
pattern.
one I had any real progress on, because I didn't frog at one time, and I probably just jinxed myself when I try to finish. I want to finish this before we do our next Flosstube.
Highly possible that you did.
That's what I would like to do. This is the Walrus, Wally the Walrus, in the Polar Plunge series by Hands On Design. I finished the Polar Bear Peak one, and now I'm doing the Walrus. And my goal this year for the Year of Whips is to finish 3 of these, 3 more of these besides the Polar Bear Peak. So I will have 4 total by the end of the year, and I only have 2 to do next year. Yay! So anyway,
And once I get 3, I'll start fully finishing for you.
the last time only the Walrus was done, so I've added half the trees, the 4 little fishies. I don't understand the trees under the ice cap. Fishies I understand because they're in the water.
Well, there's some.
But, you know.
There are some
There's
bushes or some.
Yeah, well, these are pine trees. Looks like it's spruce trees. So.
Maybe they fell out and landed in the water.
I did it. I'm not going to argue about it. I'm using this called for colors and everything because Kathy Haberman.
I can't remember how you pronounce it.
She's got good color, concept. So I don't change hers, and I don't change Tiny Modernists because I just follow what they do. But I hope to finish this Walrus next time, before the end of February for sure. So that's my one whip that has the most progress. So.
My next whip is my temperature chart, and it is called Wander With Me, and it's the cat-based one. And so each Thursday, I update from the week before with my temperatures. And so I'm using the variated, not the super hot, not the super cold. It's the varied key. And so we did get some cold temperatures because we had some snow a week or so ago, a couple weeks ago. And so it's blues and greens. But now we've had some warm days this week, so it'll be getting up closer. Well, like this light color here, that was a very warm day. And that's 18 count sand from, I don't know, I think it's just a bland, I think it's just a swagger. It is a swagger base. I think it's just a standard color. It's not if that makes sense.
I also am doing the temperature chart from Stitching Mommy, but mine's the dog walk. It's called Walk With Me, but I just call it Dog Walk. And a lot of frogging on this one. You would think with only doing 14 little toes of the pads and trying to go around a curve for just a little bit, I could manage to do that without making mistake after mistake after mistake. But that's all I did. I put the toes in the wrong spot, or instead of having it turned this way, I had it turned this way, so my stitches were going the wrong way. I think, yeah.
That's the top, though.
I think the last 2 toes are still facing the wrong direction, and I said, bump it.
No.
It's just going to stay there.
Oh, my goodness, because you are a frogger.
Yep.
I'm the fudger.
I've done so much frogging, and
like, I'm not frogging
just
anymore.
Sick of it. I just decided this dog had mutated toes. So the toes are in the right place. They're just, the stitches are going the wrong. The last 2 days of stitches are going the wrong way. And just gonna have to deal with this. Is on 14 count Seafoam from Barefoot Needle Arts. And I like it because it's green with grunge on it, like a dog yard would be, you know, where they make the grass matted down and just dirt. So I like that. And I had to go around the curve because this is the last one here and it's going to go this way. So I wanted to make sure I could count off this. But you know, I told you the last time, none of this is crossed. It's all half stitches, because if I have to frog, it's a lot easier to frog a half stitch than it is
a whole stitch.
A whole stitch.
You're right.
I'll go back once I know for sure these are in the right place, and I will put the other half of the stitches in. But I'm so sick of frogging, I can't take that chance anymore. So.
All right, well, back in December, I decided I wanted to do a snow globe, and I had a Mill Hill kit. So I started it, and then I've got the frame is from Stitching Kittens. And since December, I've added a little bit of the green in. When I was teaching my friend to knit while she was practicing knitting, then I was stitching on this piece because we were in a study room in the library in Florence. But I just added a little bit of the green up here. I didn't get much work on it, but I did do some work. So, you know, that's one of those I can work on Sunday with seasonal Sundays.
So, I've been trying to do temperature stitching, thanks to Jen, the caffeinated crafter, but I can't keep up with it. I can't do a different project every day, you know, 100 stitches or even one strand like I've been doing, and it's frustrating me. So I decided what I would do is I would keep count in my planner, like right here. I have all these little post-it notes where I wrote the projected temperatures, the last digits down, and if it got 1 vote, I didn't bother with it. If it got 2 votes, I didn't bother with it. Once it gets 3, I'll pull it out. And I'll work, because I like to work on a project like 2 or 3 days, but that's still only like 2 or 3 strands in 2 or 3 days. So I just don't make that much. I can't hold all that stuff. So anyway, as I checked off these little things, you know, I've been building up the votes. And so now, see how messy my planner is? It's terrible. Anyway, I'm up to the Peacock having 5 votes, and my most recent start having 5 votes, and a Harbor Strength having 4 votes. So I'm way behind on these things. So that's what I'll be working on this week in my plans, and I'll show those later. But I changed my temperature stitching too, because I couldn't look at Wilbur again, and he was getting votes. So I changed Wilbur to Wordy Bird, so I could start the new Wordy Bird series that I got from Heartland Quilt Stitch, which I'll show in my stuff. Anyway, yeah, I think that's the only thing I changed. Yep, that's the only thing I changed was changing Wilbur to Wordy Bird, because I have to put Wilbur aside for a little while. So where was I? I was going to show you January. January got several votes, and I haven't worked on January in a long time. Where's my pattern for January? That would be the big question. There it is. That's January. I've been doing this in all my months on 18 count white, and I've put them on a red barn that with magnets that I change them every month, that Sally painted for me, the barn, and she's also finished all my little pieces for me too. And it's in an 18 count white mystery fabric. Probably got it from Hobby Lobby, I don't know. I only use, for this one I only use 2 of the classic Colorworks cog for. I generally just do the barn colors in the specialty threads, and then I use DMC for the rest of them. And this comes from Stitching with the Housewives. And I had the J done, and it took me 3 days. See if I can put that there. Took me 3 days to do the A. Because stitch a little, frog a little, stitch a little, frog a little. It's what my life is like. And with black thread, you especially have to use that little mascara brush to get all the
fuzzies
yeah, off of it.
Last night.
So after I finally finished the A, I was going to try at least finish the N. I really wanted to finish the U as well, but after I finally finished the A, I put it aside. Frustrating enough.
Well, when we were at the Privies and Prim cross stitch retreat, Artisty was having a sale, and I was influenced by 10 14 count Ada Girl, and I ordered one. It's called Island Sunset, and here's what it looks like, or it's gonna look like. Sorry about the glare. And I am at 7% completed, and yes, I park. And that's where I am. So it's, well, 10 by 10 squares. So you can count the squares if you want to. It's on 18 count Ada, and I'm using 2 threads over 1. Because I like the coverage. It's really cool. I have it on Pattern Keeper, but I didn't bring my tablet with me to show it. So I looked it up on my phone, as you can tell. And I stitch on that on Fridays. I have designated that as full coverage Fridays. My friend Candy's decided that she's going to keep that moniker. And I'm like, well, it's not copyrighted, so.
Yeah, she said, can I do it too? And
Like,
I thought that was funny because, you know, Sally's not the only one that does that. And there's full coverage February going on right now, so.
Well, yes, and there's one lady that does, well, she does monochromatic Monday. That's what she does.
Oh, yeah.
Have you got any more?
I'm done with my whips.
Oh, okay. All right, let me get rid of that thread. Well, I'm not as far along on page 3 of His Eyes on the Sparrow as I was expecting, but I've only stitched on it one day. I stitched on it Saturday at the library. We did a Stitch in Public Day at the Hartsville Library. So again, ignore all the loose threads because, you know, that's just the way I roll. And I'm not really sure why there's that thread on the front, but I'll figure it out later. Oh well. I'm going to pull it to the back for a second. So this is page 3. As you can see, I've got the outline of the border. I did this yellow flower, and I've started a horse right here. And basically, well, the difference between His Eyes on a Sparrow and Consider Lilies is this has the animals on it. They're both Adam and Eve samplers, but this one has the animals on it, and the Lilies one has all the flowers. But I'm using DMCs, and it's on 28 count Mushroom Lugana. I'm doing 2 over 2, full cross, as they say, which you would expect. Although the original pattern, she called for 1 over 2 on 28, but I wanted some more color saturation, so that's why I'm doing it 2 over 2, excuse me, instead of 1 over 2. And my plan is to get a page finished every 2 weeks. So I started it on Saturday, so, you know, I got a week and a half to go. And then my last whip that I have been working on, and yeah, I had the frog last night because I picked the wrong color. I couldn't read the numbers. Sorry, Jack, didn't mean to wake you up, babe. I'm doing the Mad for Plaid, but I'm doing Day at the Beach, which looks like this.
I love, but
Hands
I can't
on
do
design.
Black.
And it's on 18 count black Ada, and as long as I have good lighting, I'm good to go. But I finished up the waves. Yeah, I put it in there. I finished up the waves, and then I started on the umbrellas. And yes, the waves, the 2 middle waves were supposed to be 1 row shorter, but I wasn't picking that out because I'm a fudger, not a frogger. And then I had put yellow in for the umbrellas. So I went to put the second color in, I was like, I don't have another yellow real close. So then I looked at the pattern, and it's this pinky reddish color, and it's 2 colors, and they're 1 number off. Well, when I read the pattern, it said 32, and I read it as 22, and that's why the yellow got in. Yellow's used on one of the other months because I've got the 4 seasons, the Mad for Plaids. But as far as the individual ones, I just wanted the Day at the Beach. I mean, they've got several others. And that's my progress on that. And that was the whip that was called for February. I haven't started the new start for February yet. It's at the house. May work on that this week. I'm not sure. But when I finish this one, I will substitute something else in. And those are all my whips. So next is tools you wanted to share.
Well, speaking of frogging, I had to pull out my handy dandy frogging container tin.
What? No, that's your stitching tin.
Yeah, my tin. Sally put this together for me in 2022, and it's been very handy.
Might have been the last time we went up to Oak Island.
Okay.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
No, I'm not sure when it was.
I don't know when it's 2022. I know that because it's got the little marker on it.
Yeah, gave 2022.
That's the only reason I know. But I did the frogger. The frogger, I've made several of these. If I find a frog bead, I make the froggers. I think they're cute. I just take a needle that I can use as a frogger, and
it's 22, I think.
there's a magnet on this, and the needle sticks to the magnet. And then on the other side there is a mascara wand, fuzz buster. It's called all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
But especially when I'm using black, when I'm frogging black, I really have to get those extra little fuzzies off. So this is my little frogging tin, which I've had to, it's become my companion this last 2 weeks. So I thought I would share that tool.
All right. Stitchy kindness is next. Well, no. Needles up is next.
Okay.
What did I do with my needles up sign?
Did I put it in a...
No, I don't know if you took it or I might have put it away. Let me look. I think I might have shoved it up in here. I found it.
Okay.
And I just threw it back again. All right, sorry, let me pick these up. That wasn't very ladylike, but anyway. So, needles up time. How many you got, Angie?
I'm trying to find my printout of them, but I take notes as I'm watching them, so I can remember to share them.
Yep.
I have 4.
I have 5.
Okay. I have one that I never put on here, so you don't have it. So I guess I do have 5. I'm gonna
Could
start.
you read my handwriting? I mean, it's
No,
it's
I
chicken
just didn't
scratch.
see an L, so
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I do have an L.
Yeah,
she
but it
doesn't-
wasn't
not the one you
the
got.
word I was looking at.
I got you.
I'm going to start with the one I don't have listed on my thing before I forget it.
Okay.
Lancashire Stitcher got back from New York. She spent a week in New York, and she got to visit the Born to Stitch shop, which just recently opened up in Secaucus, New Jersey, which is right over the whatever from Manhattan. Bus ride and a train ride or whatever, easy to get to. And Born to Stitch also has started a Flosstube, by the way, where she and one of her customers do their whips and such.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, she showed me pictures in New York that I had not seen before. And one of them that really fascinated me was a modern art structure, at least I assume that's what it was, of a big yellow button, humongous, big building size yellow button with a needle and thread going through it. And so I'm trying to find out if anybody knows anything about that structure. I just wanted to know, is it outside of MoMA? Because I know she went to Museum of Modern Art, MoMA.
Oh, that's called MoMA. Okay, I didn't know that.
So I don't know if it's part of the outside, sculptures at MoMA or where it would be in New York, but anything that's stitch related I was interested in. And she really enjoys New York. She goes back quite often, as much often as she can. But she was so excited to find My Big Toe because in England, that hasn't been accessible. So she bought I'd say 10 or 12 My Big Toe patterns that she showed, one of which Sally had done, This Too Shall Pass.
No, I just have a pattern. I haven't.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait.
I thought you did that.
I did do it.
I was going to say you did
Yes,
that.
because I had it in my classroom.
Yeah.
Right, and I had a student, and when he'd get angry, I'd say, this too shall pass,
Right.
and I say, breathe, and then it would calm him down, and we were good to go. You're
Right.
right. I think I got a red ribbon in the fair with that one. Not a blue.
Well, anyway, she also found like she wanted to do the Just Keep Stitching, Stitch Along for Pam's Courage style, but they couldn't find that pattern in England either. So she's got it for the first time. So she's already starting to stitch that one. And it was just interesting to hear, you know, how different they have certain things that we can't get, all the French and English and Italian stuff that I never even heard of. But we have things that we assume everybody has access to. True. So, and thanks to PDFs, now everybody pretty much does. But with all the tariffs going on and the postage problems and everything, things are going to get tougher, and people are just going to have to get used to buying PDFs, I think, because it's getting a little ridiculous. But anyway, she was so excited about her trip to New York, and she shared a lot of pictures.
I haven't watched her yet.
And it was just, I just love seeing her when she's got such a delight, you know, in her voice and twinkle in her eyes. And I think she needed this trip.
I'm sure she probably did.
So anyway, that's one that I wanted to mention.
Okay, well, you know, it's still whip parade season. So when I'm stitching, I just want something I don't have to pay a whole lot of attention to, because they usually, you know, you can look up and see. But I caught a lady, she's stitching in high heels, and I don't know what her name is, but she's from upstate New York, and she stitches on things like that I stitch on. Like she's doing the Summer Quaker by Leela's Studio. And I watched one whip parade, and the woman said, I asked her, and it's pronounced Leela. She's got some blackbirds, Jan Hicks, and then she also has Teresa Wetzler, which I never was enthralled with her back when they first came out. So I don't have any Teresa Wetzlers. I do some Paula Vaughns that I've collected and haven't stitched.
I've watched people struggle through those Teresa Wetzlers, so I'm not even tempted.
Blitz Stitch. You need to watch Brian of Blitz Stitch, because he has an interesting way that he tackles those. His interesting way that he tackles a lot of his stitching.
Stitching Mommy finished the dragon one for her son, and it took her a long time.
It did. I haven't watched her
gorgeous,
recently, but
oh
I have
my
watched
goodness.
that progress.
Yeah, she finally finished it, and then oh my gosh, it was gorgeous. But oh my goodness, for someone of her caliber of stitching, to you know, to take such long time
because she
to get
has
it
so
done.
many projects.
Well, yeah, but she kind of prioritized that because it was for her son's, I don't know, something present for her son, something, and
well,
she wanted to get it
still
done.
in elementary school.
Yeah, but she wanted to get him to dragon while he was still interested in dragons.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
So, okay, so you did that one. So
you're doing all
I wanted to talk about the Marjorie Maid Whip Parade.
I watched hers yesterday.
She does Whip-a-gory or Pick-a-Whip. She's the organizer of Pick-a-Whip.
Pick-a-Whip. And she says it's her fast people, and she likes pickles, so some people think she's saying pickle whip. And I was like, what?
Yep.
No, pickle whip.
She was talking about how Michelle Bendy, I don't watch Michelle Bendy, but she was talking about how Michelle Bendy had started something called Tail End Projects. And I told my EGA about it last Tuesday when we had our meeting, our embroidery guild. That's what EGA is for. And you use your threads that are too long to be an ort, you know, just to, but too short to bother putting back on the floss drop or the bottom.
Right.
Or the bobbin.
The bobbin.
I mean.
Yes.
And you choose one project where you're just going to put your tail ends on once a week. And you put all your tail ends into a thread book. And then at the end of the week, you just grab one and you start stitching with it. And you grab the next one and you start stitching with it. So Marjorie was doing hers on Pandemic.
I know, I saw it. It was looking really
good. It's looking good.
That's a cool idea. I like that.
Yeah. So, and I like Marjorie in the way she does color conversions to brighter colors. Although I'm not into pink and orange like she is. But other than that, you know,
that's I
do like
flag too. She likes those colors too.
Her sense of design and color. So I like watching Marjorie Maid. So I wanted to bring up tail end projects for those of you who might want to figure out what to do with your threads.
I just throw them in my ore jar. All right. Well, and then I love accents. So I just happen to be flipping, and also like I look for lengths you know, if it's 30 minutes, if it's a whip parade in 30 minutes, then you either are going too fast or you only have 2 to do. So I caught Just So Sherry, and she's Scottish with an English accent. That's how she describes herself. She does samplers, and I like working on samplers. I do, you know, I do a variety of things, as you can tell from what I've shown today. But she does do I don't do a lot of Halloween. I have done a little bit. Well, I did a mystery box by Garon Stitchery, but that's the only thing I really did. Nora Corbett, I have a few of those. Blackbird, she does a variety of things, and so she stitches several of things that I stitched.
Okay, I stitch birds. I've talked about her before.
Several.
She amazes me and what she does. She finished the gecko parrot, and she finally finished the honey bears, and I had to laugh at her a little bit because she was so upset with herself because she was doing her first Biscorn U and got so upset with herself because she didn't do it perfect the first time.
Okay.
And I thought, how many times have I done a Biscorn U and I had to unstitch and restitch and unstitch and restitch because it's a technique that has to be practiced. You know, not everybody picks things up. She's really good at black work and what do you call them, specialty stitches and stuff like that. So, you know, it took her a minute. So she got it done perfectly the second time. But she was so upset with herself the first time. And she tried again. She tried last year, and she tried again this year to do Bringo, and she's already given up on it. She gave up on it halfway through
That's too much
the months because it was, you know, it was overwhelming to her. But I just love what she stitches because she does a lot of Russian and Ukrainian and Finnish. Finnish, is that what you say? For Finland?
No idea.
I don't know. A lot of different designers from Europe. Because she does a lot of buying from mybobbin.com.
She does. Well, because she lives in Australia, right?
Yeah. And I ordered a couple things from mybobbin, that purple Christmas ball when I won it. But you have to convert from pounds to all that other stuff.
Or euros.
And I know that there's a program that automatically does it at the end, but I can't judge what things cost, and I give up. So, but I love seeing what she's stitching. And
I Google it.
Man, she loves back stitching. She doesn't want to do a project if it doesn't have back stitching, and I'm like,
you're right. She does like to do back stitching. I like it if it gives some pretty details. Well, the next one I have, I ran across her. I was, you know, just it's called Dairy Barn Art, and she's Canadian. And when she had breast cancer and chemo and radiation, her hair didn't grow back. So if she hadn't told me, I'd have never known this. But she said she had the wig place she orders from had a sale, but they only came in the gray color. And so she had it was a cute little bob, and it was adorable. And I watched her haul because, you know, in Canada they had the mail strike. So she got all of her haul, but she does quilting, cross stitching, beading, and paper crafts. She doesn't do many paper crafts now, but she does have a beading channel too. And she says if you have at least 100, well, she didn't call them subscribers, but you can work with this company and they'll send you the kits, and then you just have to complete it and show the video and promote them. And so I flipped through and watched a few of those too because, you know, I like beading. But very soothing, you know, very nice. You can stitch to her, and I did enjoy her whip parade.
Oh, good. I haven't seen that one come up on my feed, so
It came up. So, and then I saw that it was, you know, at least an hour and a half long. So I watched the first one.
Just Keep Stitching named this girl, woman, but you know, when you're my age, someone that young is a girl, as a silver Flosstuber, because she started her first Flosstube, and it's called Sloan Stitches, Slone, and I checked it out. Her first Flosstube, of course, is like always a whip parade.
Well, we didn't really do a whip parade.
No, we haven't really done a real whip parade.
No.
Kind of really. So, anyway, she's doing the Wonder Whale that
You've already done.
finished from Al Forrest Embroidery, and I said it right. All forest, not all creek. Okay, and her name is Jess. She's from Cincinnati. She's a mother of one. Her husband works in a mailroom, so she's doing that snowman pattern. That's the postman.
From Country.
Yeah.
No. The one that does
I don't
the
know
series.
who does it.
Cottage. Is it Country Cottage Needleworks? No, that's not right.
I don't-
Cottage Garden.
Cottage Garden,
samplings.
that's it, yes.
That's it.
So that's the only one she's doing of the snowman series, because her husband works in a mailroom.
The postman.
She loves Disney. My goodness, does she have Disney stuff. So if you like Disney, you could go look at what she's done. She finds a lot of things from Etsy, little projects like that from Etsy. So I enjoyed it, and I always check out what Pam and Steph recommend, but I don't always subscribe, and this one I did subscribe to.
Well, one that I found, and Angie's has seen this one, is an older lady, and she's named Stitching Bunny, and she's from Wisconsin, and she loves to do samplers. She's got a lot of samplers, and she's finished a bunch of them, and she's got a lot on the go, but obviously Hands Across the Sea, Needlework Press, Brenda Gervais, and Plum Street are her favorite people to, and they're, she and her husband have been downsizing, and they're going to downsize again. So she's got to figure out what she's going to do with everything.
I've watched her in the past, but like she's mostly samplers.
Well, she
so
is, right? Just like yesterday, I
don't
watched
do
one that was
a lot
mostly
of
full
that
coverage,
stuff,
and
so.
I
And
didn't
she likes
watch
Prim, and I don't. So
well, and I don't mind Prim.
anyway, she also sells like project bags and stuff. At least she used to.
Yeah, but when they downsize, she's going to get rid of
she's
her
have to get.
machine.
Well, she had room after room after room in that other house, so she can't do that anymore.
I think the guy wants to sell it, so she's having.
My last one to recommend is called Mountain Mama Stitches. And imagine my surprise to discover she's from West Virginia. When I saw Mountain Mama, I figured it was going to be, some other one. And I didn't think about the Country Roads Mountain Mama part.
Yeah.
That's where she got her name from. She lives now in Columbia, South Carolina. And she's a research scientist into the Fragile X syndrome of children on the spectrum. And she teaches speech pathology in Columbia at some university. I assume
we think it's USC. University of
I
South
don't
Carolina.
know. She does a lot of traveling for science.
She does.
And she's really into Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. So she went to New Zealand. She takes her husband sometimes when they go and eat places, like they went to Spain together.
Or her partner.
And I'm sorry, I say husband, but I'm old-fashioned.
Well,
yeah, they have children, and she's a scientist who has to travel a lot, and a professor, and she still gets a prolific amount of stitching done.
She does. She really does.
But she has that pattern with cats and books. Do you see that?
Is that Fred? That's not Fred.
No, it's not Fred. It's the library one with the cat and the old-fashioned lamp. Kensington Stitcher did it.
Oh, Kensington Stitch. Okay.
Several people have done
I must have missed that one. Because I do have a...
She loves Zelda. So she's doing almost a stained glass thing of
it's a full coverage.
Zelda. That's a full coverage, yeah. And her goal was to get 24 whips in 2024. She's trying to build up to it, so she had to
stitch start 3 things right there at the end of this year, so she could hit 24.
So she hasn't really fully made up her mind yet, but she may be having a goal of doing 25 and 25. Getting up to that. But she's very. I don't know how she gets everything done with as busy as she is.
Yes, but she uses it to decompress because it's very stressful.
Yeah,
teaching.
She's I don't know. I found it fascinating, so I commented when I found out she lived in South Carolina and was from West Virginia, like me. And I found out that she grew up in the county next to me. And she's living in the county that both my brothers, or she grew up in the county that both my brothers live in now. And my dad and mom graduated from high school in. And it was just neat to see the connection. And we do have a lot of things that we kind of like I do Super Mario, she's doing Zelda. We have a lot of same interests, except not politically, I don't think. Other than that, though, I really found her fascinating. I look forward to seeing more of hers, just because I felt like we connected on more than just a geographical thing. It was interesting to talk to her, so, or to comment back and forth to her, I should say.
And the last person I want to bring, and I watched her whip parade last year, but didn't put her on the list. Her name is Laura, and she is by Butterfly Stitches and Cotton and Clay, because she makes clay needle minders, if I'm not mistaken. She's English, another one of those accents I like, but she stitches similar things to me.
I think Stitching with My Literally recommended her. I think they have some of her needle minders.
I think they did.
I think so.
And so the next thing is Sash Investment Stitchy Kindness.
Which one do you want to do first?
Let's do Stitchy Kindness.
Okay.
So a friend of ours was cleaning out her stash and sent us pictures of stuff to see if we wanted to take them off of her hands. And when she sent out one, I immediately texted Angie and said, "Take it," because I've been wanting to stitch those. Anyway, but I like heartstring samplery patterns. So my scissors, my rule, and these are older patterns. But my scissors, my rule. I don't think I'm gonna use that color. It's black licorice, and then the Advent candles ornament set.
That'd be good to do for. Yep.
Put that seasonal Sunday. And then next door, I remember when I Wish You Lived Next Door. I remember, and there's several.
I thought about doing that for my friend Sarah.
Several floss tubers that have stitched this for people.
Yep.
And then last but not least, the Festival of Fobs, the springtime edition. I have the coffee edition and the summer, and the it's not called nautical, I don't think, but it's something. I have several. I have the Christmas ones too.
So I asked her friend Candy to pick these up from Sherry because she was going to Elgin, and I couldn't wait to get the. I've already ordered the fabric for my one set, but she and Sherry both thought this pattern was suitable for us. And so this is ink circles, turtles all the way down. For me, as an ex-children's librarian, school librarian, and reading Your Little Turtle, this is all about Your Little Turtle in my mind. But I can't start something like this year. And Sally likes turtles too, so.
I do, but I might do one.
One or the other of us might get started on these.
There's a tiny one at the very bottom, and that might be the one I'll do. Yes, see?
Yeah, they build up.
They actually go all the way down.
Too big.
Yeah. I think one turtle would be cute.
Do they go down a little at the top? Nope.
No, they don't. They start regular size, and then when they get here, they start going down to a point. But there's a teeny tiny turtle. There. I think that's the tiniest turtle right there.
The little guy is holding all the weight. My goodness.
Well, there's a point. Or actually, no, there's a little turtle there, but he's turned. So he's on his nose. That's exactly what he's doing. He's right there on his nose.
So anyway, one or the other of us will be using that. Or both of us.
I don't know I'll be stitching the whole thing, but yeah, I wouldn't mind stitching one.
But I was excited to see these because I've watched Teresa the Garden Goose Stitcher stitch all of these, and
Elizabeth Ann can stitch and one too.
See the Sunshine City or Sun City. They're twins in Arizona. I can't think of what their names are, but they've been sometimes stitching one of the twins is doing this, the teacher twin. Anyway, I will definitely change up the colors though, because these are really prim. I've already ordered the fabric, a yard of fabric to cut it into 12 pieces so that I could fit this, and Barefoot Needle Arts ordered it for me. It's Rogue Vapors, kind of a blue-gray. All of them will be on that. My neutral is like blue or gray, so not brown. And so I pulled out the first wordplay series. I didn't tell you what it was.
By Brenda Gervais.
Told you, brain dead. Anyway, I got March, which,
you got all 12 of them, right?
April, Ooh, is that April?
No, it's January.
I got all 12. I can't take them all out of the plastic, and they all got a glare, and I got all 12. And between Sally and I, we, anyway, I was thinking I'd start the March one. That's why I pulled out the March one on top, because I want to start the February Wordy Bird and then do the March wordplay, and just alternate between the month to month and the wordplay and the
Wordy
other
birds, yeah.
Wordy Bird, so that I can get every month covered. Right now I only have 5 months that have finished pieces, so.
Okay, all right. Now we're on to stash investment.
Okay.
Did you already? Yeah. Oh, well, I only have 2 things.
I only have 3. 2 of them are on this little piece.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and do yours and then I'll do mine.
I'm in the Wordy Bird series, so I got the March Wordy Bird. Isn't that gorgeous? I love those birds and how they stand out on that green. I gotta find that green, or I gotta get it dyed green or something, because I want that. Like apple green or something. I don't know. Well, I was doing the dog park walk with me. When I started it in January, at the very first part of January, I discovered I had no dog needle minders. That's not right, because I'm a dog lover, and I can't believe I had no dog needle minders. So I ordered from Mad for Minders this one, and it's, what is it?
It's upside down. It says life is better with dogs.
Thank you. It's got a bunch of dogs. I figured that worked for the dog park. A bunch of dogs. So, and then I also saw the chipmunk, and I have that Stitch and Jewels chipmunk thing. And for those of you who don't know what color a chipmunk is, this is actually what it looks like. It's brown with a black and white stripe down the center. It's not
Chippendales
black and white.
colors.
It's not, not a squirrel. It's, so I love finding a chipmunk needle minder that actually looked like a real chipmunk. So, and that's all my stash investment.
Well, Angie gave me a gift card at Christmas time for 123 Stitch, and after watching Potty Mouth Stitcher's progress, it's been on my wish list, but it's Hands Across the Sea and it's Memories of the Past, and it's got a lot of DMC colors, which I haven't kitted up. And then I was watching Lindy Stitches or something came out. I don't know.
Lindy Stitches had that.
I was watching and she couldn't decide between 2 because Long Dog, look, it's a blue-footed booby surfing.
And a whale.
And a whale. And so yes, and I'm just going to do it in the colors it called for. I got the other colors, and then black is the main. And this is a PDF that I printed out in black and white, but it looks like it's stitched on a pretty light blue fabric, and that's what I'm going to do because there's some white space in there. And that's what I'm doing. Yeah, it's called the 7th Wave.
I wanted it until I saw the size. Then I said,
it's only 323 by 281.
60, 63, 30, 600,000 stitches? No, thank you.
Well, I could put it in Pattern Keeper, but Pattern Keeper is just an electronic pattern and highlighter.
Yeah. Still have to do the stitching. With me, it means stitching and frogging.
I'm not going to be that way. I'm going to stitch it. But you know me, I'm a fudger, not a frogger, unless it totally messes up the pattern.
I messed up fishing. Well, I didn't mess up fishing ships. I just changed my mind about using black on that color because it was too hard. Anyway, so when I saw the size, as much as I wanted it, no.
Well, well, as I say, you know has it. But anyway.
So
we can do the whale. We can pick the whale out and you can just do the whale.
I have plenty of whales.
Well, that's not a big whale.
So
anyway.
Speaking of which,
next time we have plans.
Speaking of which, that's what I had right here.
Oh, well, I'm just going to stitch on what's sitting in my bucket. So what you've seen today is what I plan to continue on.
Oh. I plan on
start
finishing
Carter's
the walrus.
Grove.
I have to finish the walrus. I know that.
Yeah, well, I want to finish today at the beach, but that should take me 2 days at most. I'll probably get it done this afternoon.
On President's Day, I'm going to work on my patriotic stitch with the star.
I have another patriotic stitch.
Because that is on
I forgot about
17th.
Looking at some other stuff.
And on Valentine's Day, I want to start the Wordy Bird because it's definitely Valentine's Day oriented. And Sally and I had decided on the 16th we were going to start an Emma Congdon one. And I'm doing the native proverb, which is a big one.
And I'm doing a cat in a fishbowl.
And I'm starting with the whales at the bottom. So it's a very, very neat saying that she's got on there. And it's all about how we're stealing from the earth from our children.
From our children. I think Willis is just stitching that.
Yes, he is.
He showed part of it.
He's starting from the top. I'm going to be starting from the bottom.
Oh.
Yeah, he did the sky and the mountains at the top. So I'm starting with the best part so that I can get myself motivated to finish it.
Gotcha.
So,
all right.
And, oh, wait a minute. I forgot. I haven't been stitching on this one for some time. Oh, they're up here. Got two that I haven't been stitching on, and my temperature stitches.
There we go.
My temperature stitches, I'm up to five strands or something on it. So, this one I didn't stitch at all last year, and Sally's doing his eyes on the sparrow, but I'm doing his eyes on the sparrow from Foxwood Crossing. I can handle this one. I've already done it once, practically, and then my brother's cat peed on it.
Yeah,
so
that wasn't good.
I had to reorder the threads and the fabric and all that stuff. And I started again. And this is how far I got. And I want to finish it this year. I got quite a bit of it done. And so I'm going to work on this shirt of the scarecrow. And it's that Karen lilies or water lilies or
wildflowers or watercolors.
It looked like a yarn.
It's watercolors.
Yeah, and it's variegated.
You don't like doing one stitch at a time.
So I stopped on that part because I'd already done it once. Now I have to do it again. But anyway, I didn't want to just let it not do because I want to have it around. So, and I got this fabric to put on the back of it. So it's very.
You're prepped.
So I'm ready. I was ready to do the other one until the cat peed on it, and I washed it and I couldn't get.
You can't get it. Yeah, it's hard to get that cat pee out.
So
lots of baking soda and vinegar and put it out in the sun.
It didn't matter. Nothing cleaned it. So I just tossed it and called Dixie Darling, which is where I got it from, and reordered the whole kit.
I remember when you got it because we did a Halloween inspired opportunity tree that year.
Yep.
Because I put the casket together after you stitched it all.
Yep. And I had my friend Candy pick it up when she went to visit her daughter in Knoxville who lived there at the time.
Yep.
So, and I've been working on it, but last year I didn't do anything. So, and I want to finish it this year. Since Sally's doing his eyes on the sparrow.
Right.
I feel like I have to at least get mine.
Yeah. Yours a lot smaller than mine.
The peacock, still working on the confetti stitches and those last feathers. And then all I have left is the belly and the feet. And so it's mostly, I'd say it's probably 70% done. I have the picture here. That's pattern. Here it is.
Oh, okay.
See, I'm not doing the words and the border. All I have left is the belly and the feet.
Yep.
Once I finish those 4 feathers.
This is Yasmin's Made with Love.
So, yeah, Yasmin Made with Love, and it's got that saying on it, which
the diversity of others, right?
Yeah, I'm not interested in doing, and I don't want to do the border.
Sorry.
I'm just doing the peacock, and it's going to be a pillow.
Uniqueness of others, Diversity is embracing the uniqueness of others.
And I've got this fabric to do on the back of the pillow.
Wow,
I'm ready.
I knew you already had that.
So, yeah, I'm ready. I just need to get her done, and this is another one I want to finish this year. So I need to get going. I just wish Senior Frog would stay away from me. I like Senior Frog on Barefoot Landing Plaza. It's a Mexican restaurant.
Oh, okay.
I like that Senior Frog. I do not like this Senior Frog. He needs to
I meant
stay away from me.
to take my little frog and a sticker to my blade, does my nails, but I'll get it. I'll take
He and
care of
I
it
are
tonight.
going to have words. Sometimes I get this little thing and I pull my little tool out and I finish with it, and then I feel like throwing it across the room. It's not the frog. It's not the frogger's part. It's this person's fault.
I just need to take and count better.
Anyway, and that's about all we have. It's
That's it.
just over an hour, if I'm looking at that clock right.
Yeah.
And we appreciate your subscribing. We're up to over 300 people.
Don't jinx it.
And that's nice. See now. Like.
Yeah. Thumbs up.
Yep. And
Subscribe.
and
Write a comment if you want to.
We love comments.
We do get back to them. Sometimes it takes a little bit
I
longer.
don't get to see the comments all the time because it lets Sally know, and I only find out if I go into the
that's because
thing. So
when I do YouTube, I do it through our August 1823 stickers. I don't do my personal YouTube. I deleted that account accidentally and never opened it back up because I didn't have to go back through and
well, I subscribe to a lot, and I didn't want our channel subscribing to a lot.
I subscribe to a lot, and I tend to subscribe to several that you tell me to subscribe to because you're like, it's really good. Yep. So I have a lot.
And then, so I want to give everybody a chance, so I subscribe to them because it helps their channel.
Their day, it does help.
Unless they do something that really freaks me out, and then I unsubscribe. I don't do that too often, but I will. Anyway, like, subscribe, comment, all the good things. Keep watching YouTube. If not ours, everybody else's.
It's good entertainment.
Needlework Marketplace is people are starting.
Corner,
not people. Businesses are starting to put up the new patterns releases, that are available and stuff. And I haven't looked at them yet, although I have a friend who keeps sending me pictures.
She only sent me that one.
And I'm trying to be real good. It's not exactly a no-buy year, but I got plenty.
Oh yeah, I got lots too.
So
I've been thinking about what I'm gonna be doing next
year.
year.
I have so many kitted up that I can't do them this year, and I'm not sure I can get to them next year. So I really don't need any. But if I see something I really like this year, I'll let myself, because I have started at least one pattern from each of the people I bought from year before last Needlework Marketplace.
Well, that's good.
I didn't let myself do it this past year because I hadn't done any of them that I had bought from them. So last year I did quite a few so that I could buy some this year. And I've done at least one from every designer that I had ordered from.
Well, that's good.
So I can let myself buy maybe.
I don't think I bought any new things last year.
But so far I haven't seen anything that I absolutely want. But there's still quite a lot to be shown.
Oh yes.
So I'm looking for fabric. I'm looking for fabric. I'd like to see if anybody puts some good fabric.
Oh, I organized my fabric. I'm like, nah, you don't need any, Sally. Unless it's a really big piece and I gotta order a big piece. Like for the long dog, I'm gonna have to order something.
Yeah.
But that's down. I gotta finish fish and chips before I even think about starting that one.
I have to restart fish and chips, so that's why I'm not even gonna think about that one. So.
Well, mine's on the wheel and it hasn't been spun yet, so.
It's a summer thing for me, so I won't do it until then.
Oh, see, I'm not a seasonal stitcher.
I'm not either, but that's my excuse for not doing it yet.
Excuses. All right. Let's wrap
we need to go.
Up. Yeah.
We're rambling. And
or waffling, as they say in England.
Okay. So we thank you for
joining us.
Coming by.
Yep.
We thank you for all the things you've done to help us with our channel.
Yes.
And we look forward to
coming
back in another couple of weeks, maybe. We try to do twice a month. Yes. So we should see you
in a couple of weeks.
So with all that said, that's all, folk.
Bye.
Bye.